everyone, I'm Mark Grouse with the In the Garage podcast by CarParts.com. I'm here today with Jeff Chen, and we're talking about a subject near and dear to my heart, which is Teslas and modifying electric vehicles, which is actually becoming a thing if you didn't know it. So welcome, Jeff.
How's it going? Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, we were just at the SEMA Auto Show, and I saw a lot of Teslas, and not just the 3s. There were some Ys. There was the S, of course. But overall, it seemed like everybody's doing a lot of stuff to Teslas. I know you're modifying your own.
Yeah, I think in the previous years, it's been a slow roll to kind of modify Teslas. I don't think Tesla guys are necessarily car people. So we started basic with anything outside, doing some vinyl wraps, doing some tint, whatever it is. But I think now that, the market's growing, everything's growing, people are actually coming out with, solutions for, suspension and all sorts of different modifications you could do to your Tesla. So people are starting to get into it, and it's amazing. It's great.
Oh, I love it. Well, yeah. And we saw a few guys at the show, the airbag booth where they actually fit the entire system in the frunk.
Yeah, the air ride has been on the rise as well. I think for cost, people have been making it a lot cheaper and affordable, so it's approachable, and you can buy it just like that, plug and play, for the most part, if you're a DIYer. But yeah.
Well, let's just talk about some of the the performance mods, because I know that's the touchy part. One, because like for me, I have a 3 and I'm terrified of getting electrocuted and trying to modify something. What have you seen for performance?
Yeah, I think for performance, a lot of people have been messing with the ECU. I think there's starting to be aftermarket ECUs that you could plug and play, which is great and gives you a horsepower boost. Of course, you can just talk to Tesla and have them upgrade your acceleration time or whatever it is. But I think little things like that are starting to come up. I think more people have been more into modifying their suspension, like lowering their car, also getting a better ride or stiffer ride, more about handling and like optimizing the power that they use.
No, well, and you don't want to void things if you can help it.
I think it's a world that a lot of people don't really understand yet. I think it's still new to everybody. Like if you ask me to work on, a Honda Prelude, that's easy. You grab a wrench, you just start taking things apart and putting things back in. But I think with electric, it's just it's a learning curve, right? Where, I don't want to pull something out and electrocute myself, get my house shut down or whatever it is.
Now, I know you didn't always have electrics. You're just talking about the Prelude. What actually got you into, doing a Tesla instead of another import?
I think when I was younger, I was always a Honda guy. I loved Hondas. Had an Accord, had a Prelude, moved on to like some Infiniti, and then like a G37, which is great. So very sports car-ish related kind of cars I was driving around. And then as I started getting older, I'm like, man, gas is getting expensive. And I grew up when sometimes gas was 98 cents, which is amazing.
I remember that.
So that was great. So you go to the gas station and you'd be like, hey guys, don't worry, I got this on a road trip, and it'll cost you $12 to go to Las Vegas from Los Angeles, which was awesome. But when it started getting a little bit more expensive, started driving a little less, I was thinking, maybe I'll try electric. Maybe I'll make a good decision. Responsible financial decision. And I think that's when I got into the Tesla Model 3 and kind of tried to eliminate having gasoline in my life.
It makes sense. Yeah. I mean, there are, fueling issues too, because, it doesn't, if you just plug into the wall, I think my wall plug, I could charge mine in, I'll say 9 hours, 10 hours.
Yeah. I think one big thing that was really bad when I first got the Tesla, me and my wife we were living in an apartment, and that apartment didn't have any charging stations. So, and that was pretty early, I think in 2018 or 2019. So there wasn't huge networks everywhere. So I would find myself driving over to our local a park where they had like free charging, which was great.
Oh, that's cool.
And I would leave my car there, and it's about half a mile walk, and I would walk back, go charge, or walk to the park, pick up my car, come back. And it was horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's a lot more work than you think it would be. There are the superchargers now, but they're starting to open that up to everybody, which is not the best.
Good and bad. Yeah. It's nice to have that option for everyone because I mean, in the end, it's another gas station. It's a money maker for Tesla.
Yeah, for somebody.
But yeah, having a charger at home is where it's at.
It is. Well, we actually had the supercharger installed, and so we had. And it's not like the super duper one, but you could
like a
probably.
level 2.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours or so, and that's enough. I don't even drive enough to require it most of the time. I just plug it in every night, and pretty much good to go.
Yeah, I love it.
Now for I know you dropped your car really low. What was how low did you drop it from the stock height?
So I did a 2.5-inch drop. I used the unplugged performance springs. Because I hate wheel gaps.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, especially the factory ones, like I don't know, that big. So I definitely wanted to look a little bit more sleek. And also I put some spacers in the factory tires or factory wheels just to push it out a little bit, just to not look so like dorky. So it looks, the stance is pretty good for a stock-ish vehicle, which is nice.
That's awesome. Was that the main thing you did?
That's the main thing I did. Yeah.
It makes it look really,
I think it makes it stand out a little bit more. It's horrible to drive because the battery plate is so low. And for usually most vehicles, there's a lot of space on the bottom. But because the car has just batteries down there, it's completely flat. So whenever you go over any kind of speed bump, any kind of dip, any kind of whatever it is, it's...
Has it done the teeter-totter?
It hasn't done the teeter-totter, but I mean, I would like to say that I'm a good driver and that I've navigated through these kind of things for quite a while.
Going at the angle,
yeah, going
45
at the angle,
degrees.
Finding the sweet spot so it scrapes the least.
Well, that's a good mod for the next mod, right? The front bumper spoiler.
Got to get the air right so I could just raise it up and just drive right over it.
That's the dream. So, but does that void your warranty for the doing the drop?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure.
We should look into that. Don't care. Are you keeping this one forever? Is that the plan?
Well, I think I bought my car in 2018, so my warranty's already. The basic warranty is already gone.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, what do you think about driving the car versus? Because for me, I think that was actually the Tesla got me back into cars because I was in cars in like my teens and my 20s for a bit, and then I, grew up for a while, and now then I got the 3 again, and I'm like, holy crap, driving's fun.
I think that it's a great vehicle to drive. I think it's designed for a driver. I think that it makes driving fun, and it doesn't cost a lot to drive. And yeah, it locks you in. It's fast. It's somewhat stylish, and I think that, it makes me want to hop in and be like, oh, I can go to the supermarket. Oh, I can go to wherever it is with my buddies or whatever it is. And yeah, I think it has reignited driving. It's comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah. Rather than jumping into like a 2-door coupe of some sort and just kind of,
Yeah, well, it's practical.
Yep.
Plus, it has the performance. Plus, it has some looks.
100%.
And it does depend on the model you get. So I have the long range, which
Same.
has been really cool. Okay, yeah, the long range. Yeah, it seems to be the good one because we actually also have the other one, the whatever the lowest model is. We bought it for
just the regular.
Yeah, just the regular one. But even with that, because we had somebody watching our kids, you get to track the vehicle, which is super cool, and it keeps track of the entire. Yeah, maybe everybody won't like that, but it tracks everything you do.
I think it's great for accountability, especially in that kind of scenario. Which if it's like your babysitter or whatever it is, I think it's great to just have that extra little beacon, right?
Yeah, well, it's super safe. I don't know if people have seen too many pictures of like accidents with Teslas, but the Tesla, I think, because it has such a low center of mass, just goes through some cars. It's brutal.
Or just under trailer tractors.
Yeah, those are the bad ones. Still gotta be careful.
J.C. Whitney is back. The original auto parts catalog, a garage staple and cultural cornerstone for over 100 years, is now a magazine. Whether you're a newcomer or a longtime gearhead, J.C. Whitney instills confidence by delivering expertly curated auto parts and a gateway to engaging community experiences, entertainment, resources, and inspiration. Learn more about the new J.C. Whitney at jcwhitney.com. Download the CarParts.com app and accelerate convenience with access to over 850,000 auto parts at your fingertips. We make it easier to find the parts you need, anytime, anywhere. Get it now on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Yeah.
But I will say that, one of my favorite things is just, because a lot of people think like, oh, look at that jerk Tesla drivers like getting off the line so fast just to show off. And it's like, no, it just goes that fast.
But I think also when they get in there, they'll do the same thing.
Yeah, well,
It's fun. It's fun.
I think that's the big difference because I had a G37 too at one point, and it's like you could make any car go fast, but a lot of times when you try to push it, you feel like you're pushing it. It's making a lot of noise. It's obnoxious, and then so you just don't end up doing it that
Right.
often.
Now we just have the little.
Yeah, you just get the little zippy noise. I will say though, because my wife has the X, and so the X. Like it's so fast, but it's so smooth that you almost can't tell.
Right.
And so she always thinks I'm crazy, but I'm like, I prefer driving my car over that one.
There is one thing that I do miss, like from driving a gas vehicle, which is the exhaust.
The exhaust,
right?
yeah.
Like I think as a person that loves cars, having exhaust or having that sound as you zoom through a tunnel or wherever it is, it just makes, I don't know, it just makes me feel like
you're
free,
going
like free. Yeah.
That's like a roar,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
the Lion's roar.
Yeah.
Just don't be on a Harley Davidson.
Yeah, I think we also saw one of the things that we saw at SEMA was these guys, they were making electronic exhaust sounds.
Oh yeah.
And there's a little crowd around there, and I'm like, is that a speaker? Please don't. Oh no. Because it's one thing if you want to convert to electric, which is fine, and I love it. But it's another thing if you want that exhaust sound and you get a V8 or you get
Yeah. I think that goes into the category of giant spoiler on like a '98 Honda Accord or something.
To keep it down.
Oh god, I'm gonna fly off the planet unless I had this giant wing out the back. It's like maybe not. So in terms of mods though, what would you say like your dream mod list? You get $50,000 that your wife says you could use to fix up your car.
Oh wow, that's a lot. I think it would be first hit air suspension. Probably do like a big brake kit or something like that, and just some nice wheels. I would love to do a wide body, and they have these amazing wide body kits now, but that's just a big commitment, I think, for a daily driver.
Yeah, no, because they'll change your drive for sure. Yeah.
And I think I would try to do carbon fiber everything, which would be nice. I don't know if it'll increase the performance that much more because the body's already made of pretty lightweight metal, but it'll look cool.
Yeah, you get just put the roll cage in the back
Yep.
and lose the back seats and
Just lose everything.
Lose
Just
everything
one seat,
from the back.
one
yeah.
seat.
Yeah, I've seen guys do that, and there's one guy I forget what his name is, but he's on Instagram and he made his own Roadster out of a 3.
Oh yeah,
and so he cut the roof.
The cyber hooligan guy.
Yes, yeah. No, if you haven't seen that, definitely look that up because that's super cool.
Everyone's waiting for him to finish.
He's milking it.
He is.
Yeah, that's good marketing though. It's.
But I mean, having a performance Tesla's great too. Like we've seen, the Tesla that Evasive made as well, that did the Pikes Peak run, or attempted to do the Pikes Peak run, and they gutted that guy, carbon fiber everything, wide body. It was pretty amazing what they did with it. But too bad I don't know what happened. They weren't able to complete the run. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Now that car's just sitting out in the parking lot in Cerritos or something like that.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, you hate to see that.
Yeah.
You'd rather, and that's the thing. I mean, when you see people driving hard, you're like, well, that's what it's there for. So
100%.
good for you, especially if you have a fast car.
Oh yeah.
There's actually nothing more annoying than seeing somebody drive a fast car like
Super slow.
like holding up traffic slow, and you're like,
Maybe when I'm like older, I'll do that. But for now, I think
Then you get a lowrider, and that's what that's for. You don't do it in a fast car. So, what do you see the future of the EV market in terms of like aftermarket parts and racing and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I think that now things are becoming a little bit more optimized, and that the community is catching up as well. I think there's going to be just more and more support in terms of, aftermarket parts for all types of electric vehicles. I think it's a great platform. I mean, if you get a stock whatever electric car, you're doing it much better than your base model sedan, like a gas sedan, I guess, in terms of speed. And I think that there's going to only be more and more applications as people grow the industry. And yeah, I think that their future is kind of unlimited right now, just depending on how the batteries and everything gets even better and better.
Oh, yeah. No, I even think that. Yeah, advancing technologies and the electric capacity. And you see ranges with a bunch of cars, was popping up. I saw the new Lucid Blue, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty sweet. But it was like $250,000. And I was like, no, why would I do that?
And I think we also have the new the EV racing series.
Oh yeah,
I forget what the circuit is called, but I mean that in itself has been creating great technology leaps in terms for performance. So I mean, I think sky's the limit right now as people get braver and braver.
Well, let's talk swaps, because I think I saw a bunch of swaps at the show too, and there's some classic cars and Mustangs and things like that. I think it's always kind of a battery issue though, in terms of like, oh look, it's awesome, and it gets 100 miles of range. And you're like, that's not enough.
I think a lot of people, when they're doing the swaps, that they are thinking about the battery last. They're not worried about going on a long road trip to Arizona or wherever it may be. They just want to get that car running, do a little local cruiser action, and
Trip
get
out
something
some
cool
people.
there. Exactly. I mean, and now they're also making more support for a lot of that, just like kind of drop-ins, which is amazing, because people that want to do a resto mod on their vehicle are going to be able to buy that electric crate engine and drop it in and just charge up at home. It's going to be crazy.
Well, that's my goal is actually doing the G35, the 2005 G35 electric swap, and keep the rest of it just totally stock, at least at first.
That'll be fun.
And then just blow the doors off of everybody.
That'll be fun.
Because it's always shocking to people, because there's a bunch of different threes. Some threes are faster than other threes, but a lot of times, if it's a stock whatever Challenger or Mustang, or there's quite a few that'll just smoke.
Yep.
Especially at high speeds.
Yeah, I think that the advantage of this, especially for older vehicles that had like 5-liter engines that created like 200 horsepower or whatever it was, that if you drop in one of these electric crate motors, that you're going to have much more performance than that original motor.
Yeah.
And probably better reliability. Maybe.
Oh, that's a huge point. Well, yeah, I think that it just depends on your electrician.
If you do it right. Yeah, if you do it right.
Which is tricky.
Yeah.
My dad's an engineer. He always said electrical engineers, that's the toughest one you can get in terms of education. I'm like, okay.
I get scared at just putting two wires together, man. So
yeah, you only have to get shocked a few times before you're like, I don't want to die. Not like this. But no, I think you're right though. I think the stigma is kind of going away from modifying electric vehicles. I think at first with the Teslas, a lot of people are putting you in like the Prius driver category.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you're just trying to save the world, and you're like, well, it's actually not that environmental. If you think about it, just because the battery pack, rare earth materials, the amount of copper. I guess the electric vehicles use like 3 or 4 times as much copper than typical vehicles. So there's things. It's not.
We have to keep our vehicle for 15 years to make
That's true.
To make it good.
Yeah, which you can.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And then even at the end of it, somebody's going to want that motor, even if you don't want the car anymore.
100%.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I think future's bright for electric.
Super bright.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I think, you represent a growing community of people who are modifying electrics, and I think that is the wave of the future. So thanks for building it up.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
and get that website going.
Will do.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're interested in electric parts, go and check out CarParts.com and tune in next time for more content like this.